if the real sign of growth isn't how much louder you've become, but how much more yourself you've become? We have been conditioned to equate progress with presence and to believe that being seen means that you're succeeding. But what if some of the most powerful growth stories happen in silence, in the moments where no one's watching, and yet everything inside you is transforming? Welcome to the Always On Mute podcast, where we know not everyone was born with a mic in their hand or a megaphone in their mouth, but we still have something to say because quiet is still a voice. Welcome back to Always On Mute. I'm Antonia, and this is where quiet is still a voice. Today, we're talking about quiet growth, how introverts advance without the spotlight, because not all success comes with applause. Some growth is soft, some is internal, some is sacred. It's not about standing out, it's about standing true. And before we dive in, I'm going to ask you to kindly get my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. It is available at societyofintroverts.com, Amazon, and everywhere books are sold online. I have a link in the comment because I can't really see it on the screen. Anyway, let's get into it. For me, quiet growth started long before I even realized I was an introvert. I used to think that I was shy and socially awkward. I used to think that growth meant being bold, visible, and loud, that success required stepping into the spotlight, even when it didn't feel natural. I think about times when I was basically called to the stage or called upon to speak or called upon to be acknowledged for something that I did. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And I remember thinking that if I didn't post often or speak up constantly online or anywhere, that I would be forgotten. But what I have learned is that consistency, even quiet consistency, speaks louder than noise. When I started my YouTube journey, I launched a faceless channel. No one knew about it. At the time, I wasn't ready to be seen, but I was ready to start something different. I was curious about this platform and found a way to learn more about it without being on camera. I had thoughts, I had ideas, and I needed a space that allowed me to learn and grow on my own terms. I still remember preparing videos using tools that made it possible. That's the thing about now with technology is that there are so many different tools available to help you on your journey. And I didn't have to worry about background setup, how I looked, how I sounded, or anything for that matter. All I had to do was just prepare and upload. Now, I will say that the tools that I used for and still use for my faceless channel is video AI is the tool that I use to create videos. I give it a topic, and it basically runs with it, creates my videos. So there are tools out there that is helpful for you to start your journey. Now, when I look back, I realized that I didn't I wasn't, because I wasn't really planning to have my own channel, but I realized that God was preparing me for this because who child. I mean, like when I remember it was what was I was watching, I don't remember who I was watching, and something came up about faceless, and I was intrigued because for me, I didn't want to be seen. I was interested in sharing what I knew or learning and sharing, but I didn't want to be seen. God knows the plans. That faceless beginning taught me so much. It showed me that you can create impact without being front and center. I learned to thrive in silence, to measure success by consistency, not comments, by courage, not clout. During that phase, I started understanding how powerful silence can be. It's where I recharge, where I plan, where I create my best ideas. Silence isn't my weakness, it is my workspace. And I didn't rush it either. I gave myself permission to grow behind the scenes. That's something that I encourage everyone listening to do. Allow yourself to grow privately before you share publicly. It took a while for me to share with anyone what I was doing. And there's still things that I'm doing that I haven't shared as yet because I need to become comfortable with it first. Eventually, I did find my way to the camera. Not because I wanted attention, but because I had grown into my confidence quietly. I realized that my calm, my depth, my stillness, those were my strengths, not shortcomings. That's what quiet growth looks like. It's not flashy, it's faithful. It's choosing to bloom at your own pace, even when the world is choosing to rush. We may not shout our ideas from the rooftops, but we influence in ways that echo long after we have left the room. We write, our words travel where our voices may never go. We listen, and people truly feel heard. We create, not for attention, but for intention. Honestly, most of my best ideas come when I'm walking or sitting quietly with a cup of tea or just staring out the window. Not during meetings, not in crowds, but in moments where I can hear myself think. Quiet impact isn't about being unseen. It's about being unshakable. It's about introverts lead, not by noise, but by depth. I've noticed this especially in my book, Unlocking the Introvert. The feedback I get isn't from hundreds of loud comments. It's from one or two persons who message me or comment saying, I feel seen because of what you wrote, or I feel seen because of what you share. That's the kind of influence I want to have, not the loud one. So here's what I've learned: growth that feels forced doesn't last. Play to your strengths. If your strength is reflection, lean into it. If your best ideas come in solitude, protect that space. Before I knew better, I used to think that I had to be like other creators: high energy, posting multiple times a day, doing trends. That's not me. But I decided that I didn't want to imitate anybody. I wanted to be me. I wanted to be my natural calm, and I wanted to give myself permission to do it in a way that made me feel comfortable. I feel like people connect with authenticity, not imitation. So redefine what visibility means for you. Visibility doesn't have to mean exposure, it can mean presence, influence, and alignment. For me, visibility came less about numbers and more about connection. If one person feels inspired, that's visibility to me. And above all, protect your energy because peace is part of your progress, not the price of it. Quiet success is sustainable success. When people hear the word introvert, they don't actually think of names like Barack Obama, LL Cool J, or Amy Schumer, but each of them embodies a quiet kind of confidence. President Obama leads with calm authority. LL Cool J commands rooms with purpose, not noise. And Amy Schumer, who many assume is the life of the party, has spoken openly about needing solitude to recharge. And her creativity flows best in stillness. I relate to that. I think people sometimes assume that if you're confident or expressive, you can't be introverted. But introversion isn't about shyness, it's about energy. It's about how you recharge, how you think, how you process the world. Different worlds, different careers, same truth. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You just have to be present in your purpose. That's the essence of quiet growth. Now, here's a moment where you pause. What does quiet growth look like for you right now? Maybe it's setting boundaries and keeping them. I know for me, that's been one of my biggest lessons. Learning that no doesn't make me rude, it makes me free. I used to always be the one to say yes to everything, and it used to burn me out. And now that I have learned that no is a full sentence and that it's a boundary, I use it. I keep it in my back pocket and I'm always using it because it's a way for me to protect my peace. Right? I have learned self care, and self care is sometimes deemed as selfish, but protecting your peace is priority. So maybe it's finally starting that project that no one knows about yet. I have plenty. When I started my YouTube journey, no one knew. When I started a t-shirt business, no one knew. Certain things I shared along the way because I was taught in mentorship to basically, share, like what you're doing, and to pat yourself on the back and all that. But I don't like it, but I understand that it's a part of the process. So I am doing that more. But there's certain things that I'm working on that I haven't shared as yet. Now, um, rest used to make me feel guilty. So I used to just do things all the time. And my thing I used to tell people is that, oh, I'll rest when I die. Because I felt like there are 24 hours in a day and I need to be doing something 36 hours of those 36 hours of that day. But now that I am growing into her, I'm realizing that rest is necessary. So if I need to take a snooze, I do. If I need to nap, I do. Middle of the day, whenever, like if I need to, even if it's for 5, 10, 15 minutes, I give myself permission to just rest because I know what it's like to be burnt out, right? The best work happens after rest, not during burnout. I've learned that. Please remember that growth doesn't have to announce itself. Sometimes it whispers, and that whisper is enough. If this episode spoke to you, please remember to grab my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. It is your gentle companion for understanding yourself, embracing your quiet strengths, and thriving in a world that doesn't always slow down. You can find it at societyofintroverts.com, Amazon, or everywhere books are sold online. Now, I think about how far I've come since that faceless channel, even from writing my book last year, from whispering my ideas to now sharing them out loud, not to be seen, but to remind others that quiet is a strength. Growth doesn't need witnesses to be real. It happens in the quiet shifts, the way you think, move, and see yourself differently. So please do not discount the reasons when it feels like no one notices. You're still evolving, you're still becoming, and every silent step forward matters. Let me repeat that. Every silent step forward matters. Okay? Remember that quiet is still a voice. Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to my podcast, Always All Big Podcast, please do so. Also, like and comment in the in comment in the let me know in the comments below how you're getting along with your growth in silence. I will see you in the next one.